Hello friends, how are you today? I hope you're doing well. Today I wanted to come to you to talk about one of my favorite subjects, and that is teeth. I know it sounds crazy, but I love teeth. When I was a little girl, I used to love to go to the dentist because I always had very straight, very clean, very strong teeth. And I used to, every single time I would go, the dentist would go on and on about how much they love my teeth. They would call in the hygienists and all of the people in the office to come and look at my x-rays because they loved my teeth. Now, when I would go to the doctor, they would give me shots for allergies, weigh me, and tell me that I was too fat. So I really, enjoyed the dentist a lot more. When I got older and I read a statistic that said that a lot of dentists were very depressed and had suicidal thoughts because of how afraid people were of them, I was shocked because I was like, why could people not like the dentist? But then I realized that a lot of people don't know how to properly take care of their teeth. And I've watched commercials, obviously, or have seen commercials of like people brushing their teeth for toothpaste ads. And I watched this video the other day of someone teaching a little kid how to brush their teeth, and it was basically just them kind of like moving the brush inside the kid's mouth for the length of a song, which is, I guess, okay, but it just didn't seem like it was enough of a tutorial on actually brushing your teeth. And so I have this public service announcement that I think is another thing. A video ago I made about what you might not realize about dog food, but another thing that people might not realize is that the back of your teeth, like this part, those are also teeth and gums. So when you're brushing your teeth, you really do have to get in the back, on the inside, top and bottom, gums and teeth, in order to have perfectly healthy teeth. You also need to polish around all back molars. That is where most of the bacteria that causes bad breath lies, in those back molars, because they don't usually get addressed properly by a toothbrush. You take the toothbrush, you put it all the way back in your mouth, and you can polish. If you can also work on your gag reflex for all the gagging girlies out there. But you have to polish behind all four of the molars at the top and the bottom. And then you have to brush underneath the gum like this, all the way to the top, very, very lightly. Up, brush around each teeth. Each individual tooth can be addressed with the brush or with the floss or with the water pick or whatever it is. Please do not be afraid to treat each of your individual teeth with respect when it comes to brushing, flossing, and all of that. A lot of times you'll just see people just going in there just wildly like a Neanderthal, and then over the sink is a strange place to brush your teeth. I know a lot of people think it's gross to brush your teeth in the shower, but it's a lot better because the toothpaste flies all over the sink and all over the mirror when you brush your teeth at the counter. It's so absolutely gross. And if you really are brushing your teeth well, there should be some drool with the toothpaste coming out. There should be stuff flying all over the place, which is why you want to do that in an environment where you can just wash it away. But it's really important to address the back teeth in between the teeth. If you're a person who doesn't floss, and get a water pick. If you can't afford a water pick, maybe if you have a detachable shower head and it doesn't have too much calcium, lime, and rust, use it to get in between the teeth and respect each individual tooth. Respect the back of your teeth, respect the inside gums, and respect the back molars, because that is where most of the bacteria is. And if you want to scrape your tongue, please do not do it with your toothbrush, because then you're going to get all the junk into the bristles of the toothbrush. They're never going to get out. Use a stainless steel tongue scraper. Then spit it out. Then rinse out your mouth. Anyway, so those are some tips to bright teeth. And I have more to say. Hold on. And it's also really important to remember that teeth come in a lot of different shapes, sizes, and colors. Now, most of what makes your teeth, if you have a very broad, bright smile or a bite, that is bone structure. That is genetics. If you have a narrow bite and small teeth, that is bone structure and genetics as well. A lot of people do not have a ton of enamel. If you do not have a ton of enamel or very strong enamel, your teeth might come out or might appear yellowish or kind of like see-through, kind of clear. That is not unhealthy. That is simply how your teeth are. Now, some people, because of that, have softer teeth, so they're more prone to breaking. But part of that comes from not properly taking care of what you have. Now, if you are a person with a bone structure that is a little bit more compromised, you might have to take more, or like you might have to be much more diligent with your teeth and not yield bright chiclet-like results, but there's nothing wrong with that. So if your bite is narrow, if your teeth are crooked, or if whatever that is, it's really of little consequence when it comes to oral health, because you can still have healthy gums and teeth without the aesthetics thing being 100%. And the aesthetics a lot comes from genetics. So it's very important to not be discouraged if your teeth don't look bright white, because maybe that is just not the way your teeth are meant to look. However, your breath is supposed to be fresh, your gums are supposed to be healthy, and your mouth should feel nice and clean every single day. And then just a side note to people who do end up getting those veneers, I take it from somebody with pretty, not perfect, but pretty well put together natural teeth. Teeth are not all the same size. They are not all bright white like chiclets, like little pieces of gum. And they're not like huge. So I don't know why people, when they get the fake teeth, they get these giant white sticks in their mouth. I'd rather see your natural bite. I'd rather see you, like a lot of times people who have extra small teeth, because some people have very tiny teeth, they end up getting giant big teeth, but that's not what your face is meant for. Obviously, if you were born and small teeth came out of your head, it's because of that was the size your teeth should be. But that's not the point. At the end of the day, the aesthetics is of little consequence when it comes to the health. Ask anybody in the dental profession. You can have crooked teeth and they can still be healthy. You can have small teeth and they can still be healthy. You can even have teeth that are kind of yellow and they can still be healthy. Because that is just about enamel, unless they are dirty, which you do not want. So you have to learn how to brush your teeth properly. Thank you. Love you. Bye. Ching.